Hi. Now I am going to continue from the point where I had left my previous video at. It was about career and creative domain part 1. Now I am going to talk about the same topic but part 2. And here I am going to discuss visual thinking. As I had mentioned, if you could recall, I had talked about three things: practices, creative practices, and then managing practices, and technology and software. So these three things triangle. So I'm going to talk about the practices, and the first topic that I have taken to discuss here is visual thinking. It's not a rocket science. As we understand, the creativity has got a very brain has got a very important role to play for creativity. In fact, if I say that this area of human body plays a very important role for creativity. So brain, mind, then then your five senses: eyes, nose, this, mouth, ears, and therefore a taste. It also, in fact, I give another sense which I add is touch. I always, I get the feel by touching. And then the sixth sense, the intuition power, intuitive brain, right? And I don't know, how many of you have heard about the dissection of brain, right brain and left brain there, and they have different functions to play. And then if you look at the brain from this angle, then there is a conscious mind, which is a bigger one. Subconscious mind, very small one, but it's very powerful thing, very powerful part of our mind. And then there is third part is unconscious brain. So look at this area, which is approximately 15 kg. So this area is has so many sections, compartments to help us comprehend things, help us interpret things, help us develop develop certain ideas. So this area is very important. Then comes this portion, and actually these five senses are the messengers. They play a very active role. So what I see, what I hear, what I taste, what I feel after touching, what I smell, these things also give, these things are the, actually I call it languages. They also give some message. So, and those messages are interpreted here. Okay, without going in detail, because it's a very interesting topic, and it's my passion. I love understanding the mind and brain and occult, all these things. Okay, so what is visual thinking? As we understand, we all think, and I believe that mostly we think with the visuals. We everybody, my theory is everybody is creative by design. Nature has not deprived anybody uh, with this power of creativity. Everybody, if you have a mind, you will create. You will be creative. It will create. But what happens over a period of time, we become more comfortable by hearing the language I am very comfortable with, the words, punctuations, modulations and all, and then I comprehend faster, I learn faster, I interpret faster. But there is another breed which tries interpret everything in terms of shapes, colors, in terms of visuals. So actually, for 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 a person who wants to go in this creative line, he has to be very strong at visuals, and he has to. This is the first thing which is mandate for the person, that he or she needs to listen and then visualize, imagine things with the shapes and figures and colors, compositions and all this, because this is very important. factor. So when you are thinking and imagining things, or you viewed something, you happen to be in some place where you watch some incidents, and then you have to interpret it on your own way with the help of visuals and all. And actually, whatever you have seen, heard, felt over there, that you have to recall. That is very important, right? So if you develop that power, when you have started getting the shapes, and then you have started putting the shapes in an order to convey something, this this skill will definitely help you develop ideas and conveying ideas to the world. Also, which will come later, I will deal with it. One thing is, so viewing something, experiencing something, and then conveying the entire sequence in your own way with the helps of visuals and all. That is one thing. As is means you are not changing anything. But once you are skilled enough, then what you would do is you would make it. You would start doing the changes in it without losing the message, without goofing up with the message will be the static thing, the message will be the same, still the same, but you will make it more interesting for the person who is hearing or viewing this. So that is the second stage. So first stage is you have to tune up your mind, your all senses, that they start enjoying visuals, right? And the first barrier which happens in this path is how to recall, how to feel it again and again. Every time I think of that situation, I get the same emotion, same feeling, same as if it was happening all over again before me. So that is called the recreation, right? So this recreating this past, recreating, one is recreating the past, another is recreating the future. You are, you develop a habit wherein your mind start linking the past and present, start thinking more, so it is extending the thought. So you have developed a story, and now you are thinking, okay, if I were to extend this story in the future which I have never seen, then how could it be? So what happens, you get the fiber, you get the elements of shapes, stories and everything from the present and past, and then your creative mind starts giving you some more images, some more ideas that looks an logical extension of the same story or event, and it appears that yes, perhaps it will happen in the future. It becomes so convincing, right? So it is not easy, but it is possible. Visual thinking is very important, very critical. And the first thing which I always talk, if you were to practice visual thinking, you be better and better at it, then you have to learn observing skills. And that is where these elements, these sensors, they play a very important role. If you are observant, observation means if you are in a place, you have to feel the place. Now somebody can say that yes, I do feel a place when I am sitting there. Now what happens, we are there and we think that we are feeling everything, whereas there is always a noise. The messages which I am receiving, it has got lots of noise, so nothing is very clear. I am feeling that I am here, but if I were to explain everything, the sound, there are different types of sounds, or different types of people, their expressions, the cloth colors, the smell or fragrance, and the place I was sitting or seat I was sitting, the fabric of that seat, I wouldn't be able to do justice if I had to recreate it. Only a person who is very